Episode 9 of the Take two. Of the,
no one needs to know that.
No. Episode 9 of the Maximize podcast. I'm Josh Cooper. This guy's Justin Oman.
I am. One of these days, I'll even get to announce my own name.
Not to be confused with Justin Oman, the country.
Which is spelled the same.
It is.
And pronounced by Siri the same way as you have alluded to before in the past.
In take 1. Yes, I did allude to that. So we are not on take 1. We're actually on take 2.
We are on take 2.
And we are talking about downsizing.
So a common thing you're going to see in this market, or what you're going to feel if you start talking around, is the need for smaller, more efficient homes. Specifically, at least in our market, is a large need for condos. So efficient, small homes that are managed and maintained outside by other people.
Yeah. And who would that be? Who would a condo typically have take care of their properties?
The Homeowners Association.
Which the acronym is?
HOA.
HOA, that is correct.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Absolutely. I mean, thank you. And so with that, you seeing the need for that because you have a lot of baby boomers right now. And really, you actually have some millennials that are looking for this as well. But a lot of baby boomers, they're moving from the house that they raise their kids in. They have all kinds of family memories in this house. And, they're typically 2 stories, which obviously the older you get, the harder it is to move around typically. And so they are looking to downsize that house that they've worked up to get their entire life to now coming down in size with that 1-story plan that they can more adequately get around it.
So what I've seen specifically with some of my clients looking for those homes and condos in general is they are not from the central Ohio area, but their kids have moved to this area, so they want to be close to their grandkids. Because they're going to spend so much time maybe visiting, they don't need large spaces for themselves. They'd rather have somebody else maintenance it. They don't want to have to worry about taking care of it, but they want a few extra bedrooms in case their grandkids come to spend the night.
Yeah.
So even though it's a couple, a lot of the times looking to get something smaller that can be less effort for them to take care of, we're still looking for 3 bedrooms a lot. At least that's what I've seen.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's hard sometimes for people to do that as well, right? Because it's, like if you go, let's say from a 4 or 5 bedroom house, it's hard to go down any further than a 3 bedroom house because, in your mind, it's just like, I know for me, like I like beautiful things. I like nice things in life. And that would be hard for me to kind of stomach the idea of going from this thing I've built my entire life for to something that's much smaller and much more efficient. So it's okay. A great example of this. So obviously we're going through. So our family are going through some things with our daughter, and I made a very good decision, I think. So
it was.
I have a car that I sinfully love. It's a Toyota 4Runner. It's a
Hashtag TRD Pro.
TRD Pro.
Just watch it on Instagram.
I love it. I sinfully love that car. But unfortunately, it only gets, no knock on Toyota because Toyota makes a good car. If Toyota wants to send me a nice new model in 2024 when it comes out, I'd happily take it. But right now, it only gets about 16 miles a gallon.
On a great day.
On a great day. And so we're driving, we have to drive to and from Columbus a lot now. So obviously in our business, we drive a lot too. But so like I made the decision that trip to and from the hospital cost me right around, for easy math, let's say $25. Cost me $25 a trip just in gas, gas at $4 a gallon. And I'm like, okay, well, how many trips would it cost if I get a hybrid? And so I got this. So like I have this beautiful, super sexy, not something I need at all, 4Runner TRD Pro, and I went to the base model Toyota Camry hybrid, no bells and whistles at all. Basic,
like for the turn signal, you got to use your arms.
Yeah, man, it's like, but don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still a nice car. But it's like for me, it's not that it's not that house to bring it back. It's
Right,
not
so-
that house I've worked my entire life for to
Which is
get.
why Josh doesn't love my base model hybrid.
No, and you love it because you're all about efficiency. You're all about efficiency, doing things the way they should be done, and I want to sprinkle some of that into my life. But I don't want my whole life to be like that. And so, I hate planning meals. I hate the structure of all that stuff, and you love that, and you're all about the efficiency. So good for you. God bless you, my friend. But I went to this Camry, right? So in my analogy, that is me going from this house that, these baby boomers worked their entire life to get, and now they're going down to that base model Camry. And, for some people, that's hard. For me, that would be hard. For people like you, you probably won't care as much as me.
I probably may or may not do that anyway, though, because I like to hold my real estate.
Well, that's true. But
Different conversation.
Yeah. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I think you're on the nose on why you're seeing a lot of that. That also brings a lot of competition to the market for ranch houses as well.
Yep. Super underbuilt nationwide.
HOA, for most of the time, is not taking care of the lawn or the driveways or anything in that aspect. But when you have a ranch house, whether you're a new family, older family, growing family, or someone downsizing, like they're all looking at the exact same house. So if I'm looking at it from a family perspective, I either like the house or I don't like a house, but I'm not looking specifically for a ranch. I'm just looking at it like a home. So the competition is very strict for those.
Yeah. Well, one of the beautiful things, and part of the reason why you're seeing the shift in this market, I believe, is you have all these people who have, every time somebody, well, I'll say every time somebody sells, but most of the times people sell, they have equity. They take that equity, they roll over to the next house, the nicer house, and then they close on that. They roll that equity into the next house. And so when people typically downsize from that house they've worked their entire life to get, they are turning around and buying these houses cash. So what you're seeing is a trend in the market right now. 1 out of 4 houses closed are cash, if you can believe that.
If you don't know, that's insane.
Yes. 1 out of 4 homes in this market are bought cash. So obviously that gives them a lot of buying power too. So when they come down and let's say we had this on a duplex that we just tried to make an offer on, right? So this duplex, it was a nice duplex listed for $150,000.
Okay.
They had an offer of $30,000 more than asking price. Like it was a loan. The buyer came in with a full price offer, so $150,000 cash offer, and got it.
Wow.
So that seller, for the sake of knowing they can close quicker and less complications, they took that, I'll say $30,000 haircut, but they got what they asked for and they got a cash offer.
Sure. And then let's kind of look at the picture holistically. Like a loan does rely on the appraiser to tell them it's worth that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, the seller might have made out with the exact same money.
Yeah. And
it's guaranteed cash at that point.
Yeah. And it's not worth 170 or 180. Sorry.
Right.
My math was terrible there.
I could picture what you're talking about when you said that. And
Yeah.
the fact that they offered it is incredible, but getting it to appraise would be kind of tough.
For sure. And that's a real thing.
It may have, but yeah, in this market. So that's one reason with downsizing. I've seen, obviously, there's the other aspect of downsizing that comes with getting to a place physically in life in an age where you have a necessity to need something smaller. And sometimes that is even an assisted living facility where those larger homes are hitting the market and being sold. And so with downsizing, you see a lot of contents being sold in properties as well.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, that is something that as an agent in your representation that we will also help you manage.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't think that's understood, or maybe it's even misconstrued sometimes to think that that's happening, but we will obviously help manage every step of that transaction to make it as comfortable for you and your family or you and your parents as much as possible.
Yeah. And so like one of the most common things that we see are mom and dad own a house. Maybe dad passed away, mom goes into assisted living, or mom passes away too. So they have this house and kids have moved away and they don't know what to do. It's stock full of mom and dad stuff. Mm-hmm. they don't want to deal with any of this stuff. So, a good agent is going to help them kind of liquidate that stuff so they can maximize their bottom dollar and then turn around, obviously get the most out of that house as well. And so, you look at kind of like that version of downsizing, like that's like downsizing literally down to nothing. But, it's done every day.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
Yeah.
It's happening right now at my next door neighbor's house.
It is.
It is.
Yeah, we maybe need to buy that.
We will be considering it.
Yes. Yeah. Justin's just going to demo it. He just swimming in ponds of money.
Yeah, definitely. That's me, man.
Yeah,
watch out, folks.
That's why you drive the hybrid. You have that money.
Listen, I just can't. I like nice things too, but in my brain, I can't justify jumping from hybrid to TRD Pro when I know my hybrid is paid for, and every time I get behind the wheel to do real estate work, it's paying me.
You can justify it, you can't justify it. I think, good idea. Yeah, let's do it. That's how it works.
Which is why when we talk about our office growth and our team growth, we sit together and don't just buy things individually.
Yes.
It's like, I want this.
That's
like,
wise.
shouldn't. And you're like, well, let's go one step up. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. We'll go one package up.
But do you have anything else for downsizing?
I do not, other than call us. We'll get it figured out.
What are some? So if there were a couple takeaways that you'd want somebody that is going through the downsizing process or thinking about downsizing, what are some of the things that they should be considering?
If you're considering it, know that like you have power in your equity. A lot of times right now, if you're selling a larger home, it seems like it may be less desirable to have a contingent offer on a place. Knowing that those homes are going to sell in this market, it might be worth looking into a great lender to get a line of credit on the house, using that to buy cash and then selling your other property, so you don't have to do it all at the same time.
And the benefit to that is the house you're buying is not going to be contingent on the sale of yours, which makes it much more desirable without a home sale contingency.
And as much as it seems like it doesn't always happen, it can happen where you can, as Josh had mentioned with the other deal, you can have a stronger, more desirable offer by coming in cash, and essentially that line of credit is going to look like cash on paper.
Yep.
So that's one option to keep in mind. And the other one is, I guess I kind of want to watch how I want to say this, but I do, in a way, want to mention it. You don't have to liquidate the property and contents just because you have content. It doesn't all have to be auctioned.
Correct.
I don't think auctions are bad things. I personally, with the way this market is operating, and I have auctioneers in my family, just so everyone's aware, we have an auctioneer company. I don't think when it comes to home sales, for something that is not going to be used as an investment property or in a market where everybody's going to be able to come at you with cash, I don't necessarily believe that an auction is going to get you the top dollar. Just because of the way they operate, you're going to eliminate a lot of potential buyers that have to use loans.
And typically an auction, I don't know, there's
it's not across the board for every
not across
company.
the board, but typically their fees are more expensive than your traditional real estate agents. So.
They can be, yeah. They're not all that way. Sometimes it's a little bit equal, but yeah. And there's the other fees that they'll have on top as far as like boxing and moving things out. So again, not to speak badly against that type of thing. I think there is a time and a good place for it. But I think in this market, if I can bring lots of buyers to the table instead of eliminating them because they can't put 5% down non-refundable at the day of sale, you're going to be able to get more money for that house if you can be patient for another 20 days to get to the closing table.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's well said.
Thank you.
I was really hoping you hit on the equity part. So
I did what you asked.
You are smarter than you look.
Oh, man, yes.
You're smarter than you look, man. Yeah. Well, that's it. That's all we got for episode 9 of the Maximize podcast.
I'm Justin, and this is Josh.
And we're here.